Good morning, Mr. President. My very warm regards today. I hope it is going well. It's been an eventful few days. I have a few things to talk about, but I am going to hold my tongue and I am going to address the elephant in the room, the big one in the room. Nana. As Ghanaians, we are endowed with a lot of natural assets. As Ghanaians, we have a lot of things to be proud of. As Ghanaians, we have a lot to showcase to the world. I think at the moment we're doing a miserable job. But I want to target this thing from a factual point of view. Nana, if you've listened to any of my addresses, I hope you've heard some of them. This one, probably the most important for me. I want to talk to you about competence at your tourism industry. I am not going to mince my words. If I am discussing competence, means I suggest it is not currently where it needs to be. Now, the tourism industry, let me read a few things from credible sources. It's always nice to quote. It's nice to reference people who are more knowledgeable than I am. So I am actually quoting from the UN World Tourism Organization, UNWTO. I am quoting straight from unwto.org. step.unwto.org. That's where I'm quoting from. And it's from the article which says tourism and poverty alleviation. Nana, we have poverty in Ghana. There's no running away from that. Nana, poverty in Ghana needs to be alleviated because the standard of living in Ghana in 2018 is unacceptable. People are living way below the poverty line in our country, and it's a travesty for a country which has all these natural resources, who can lay claim to all these amazing things, to have citizens living in those states. Let me go to the article, Nana. It says tourism and poverty alleviation. I will read a small section from the beginning of this article. It says, tourism is one of the strongest drivers of world trade and prosperity. It is one of the strongest drivers of world trade and prosperity. If we want the economy in Ghana to develop, if we want the economy in Ghana to improve the way we all claim to, we need to be driving up world trade and prosperity in Ghana. Continuing, it reads, poverty alleviation is one of the greatest global challenges. So it's not just a Ghanaian challenge, it is actually a global challenge. Despite turbulent times for the world's economy, these basic facts are unlikely to change. Focusing the wealth-creating power of tourism on people most in need remains an immense task and opportunity. The special precision of tourism in poverty alleviation. I'm just going to read the headings. I'm not going to read the individual subtitles. It says that poverty has a special role in, tourism has a special role in poverty alleviation. The size and growth of the sector. International arrivals grew by 4%, reaching 982 million in a year. This is in places, it says in places like the Middle East and North Africa and in Japan. The relative importance of tourism in developing countries. So tourism is important everywhere, but it's actually more important in developing countries. Countries like us who don't have capital. Countries like us who can't invest directly in public services. Countries like us who do not have the infrastructure the citizenry needs to be able to be competitive players. Countries like us, whose resources have been misappropriated for so long that we need redemption. Nana, our tourism industry could be life transformational. Let me break it down simply. When people come to Ghana, they do pay to come. When people come to Ghana, they invest in our Ghanaian businesses. When they purchase in Ghana, it feeds Ghanaian mouths. When they invest in Ghana, it employs Ghanaian people. The economy booms, the burden on you, Mr. President, might even reduce when individuals are able to help ourselves. Individuals are trying our best. I have a tour company and I have started one. I'm trying really hard to contribute. But my efforts do not really mean anything when the bigger picture is not being addressed. Nana, your Ministry of Tourism requires action. I was listening to a radio presentation from Adom FM. Somebody sent it to me this night. I'm not sure when the original broadcast was. But it was interviewing a man who has retired from the tourism industry. He's written to the minister. Nana, I have been to the minister. Many people have written. Many people have been to directorates. Many people have been to the authority. But it's difficult, Nana, to get our concerns addressed because it is not reaching the right channels. So sometimes desperate times require desperate action. So here I am on social media again, in the hope that when one shares and passes on to another, eventually the message gets to you. Nana, tourism is a wasted opportunity in Ghana. We have beaches that other people are using to transform lives, but Nana, we are using it right now as public lavatories. Travesty. We have attractions like Kakum with roads you can't use. Kakum is phenomenal. How many people would be able to travel to Kakum with the road in the state it currently is? Nana, there are some places where the road is completely inaccessible. When you go to a tourist attraction, Nana, at the moment we are wasting our attractions. On the road to the waterfalls itself is a marketing opportunity. At the waterfalls itself should be a marketing opportunity. Nana, we need merchandise for people in these places to trade. I have produced the bag. The bags should be trading everywhere at every tourist attraction in Ghana. But unfortunately, Nana, at the moment, the bags are sitting in boxes because of bureaucracy. I have magnets which should be traded by young people so that everybody who visits the tourist attraction leaves a contribution to the local economy, leaves a purchase behind so somebody is able to feed a child, leaves a purchase behind so people are able to invest in their children. At the moment, it is not happening. When individuals take on the task, bureaucracy from the powers that be make it impossible for us to make the impact we are. That's a story for another time. I am just tackling the big issues today. Nana, tourism in Ghana needs to be addressed. Tourism in Ghana goes beyond festivals. Nana, the national carrier issue is a big elephant we need to address because when other people bring your guests, you are at their mercy. When other people determine how expensive your route is going to be, it is impossible to attract people to come in the first place. Everybody goes to Kenya, Tanzania at the moment because the prices are cheap. Now, this morning, I attempted to make a booking for a client on Ethiopian Airways. When I selected the places, when I put in the destination and the origin, the next item popping up on my screen was, do you want to do a stopover in Addis Ababa? That is what happens when you have your national carrier. There should be a Ghana Airways offering people the opportunity to do a stopover in Accra. When they have a stopover in Accra, and they sleep in hotels in Accra, they eat in Accra that night, they tour Accra, they purchase merchandise from Accra, souvenirs from Accra. Our national agenda can be presented to people who could be potential investors. But we are able to reach them, Nana, because they are in Accra. They are able to read our news, to see our publications, to hear our people speak, and for our national agenda to be presented to them. Stopovers in Accra do not happen at the moment because we do not have a national carrier. Nana, British Airways is not going to offer people the option to stop over in Accra on our behalf. Not even Ethiopian Airways is going to do that for us. Nana, Ethiopian Airways is not being run by the Ethiopian government, but it does a lot of good for the tourism industry in Ethiopia because the government is able to drive agenda through there. We need a national carrier, and we need a national carrier, Mr. President. We need a national carrier. And when we do have a national carrier, we need competence at the Ministry of Tourism. We need visionaries at the Ministry of Tourism. We need people who are action takers, not people who sit in offices, Nana. Tourism goes beyond festivals. Festivals are good. Panafest is wonderful, should not be organized necessarily by the ministry or the authority. We should devolve some of these things to people who are competent and capable. So policymakers spend time making policies. So policymakers spend time facilitating individual efforts. That policymakers are able to bring stakeholders to the table and welcome everybody's contribution. At the moment, we are lamenting, Nana, because there's many of us who have tried to contribute. Many of us who have sent proposals to the ministry, to the authority. Many of us who've made personal visits. Many of us who are on social media trying to reach. Many people who are frustrated into abandoning support. We can't afford that because we have a national emergency to address, Nana. The tourism industry needs to be invested in. Nana, there should be activities at the tourist attractions. There should be merchandise at the tourist attractions. There should be people who are educated and trained to deliver specialist tours and to charge appropriately so they have a viable source of income. There should be training offered to people in the tourism industry so they are competent guides to people who visit. We should be advertising internationally to attract people to Ghana. There has to be traction, but individual budgets are not enough to bring in the volume we require. Nana, how much money do I have and how many adverts can I place to bring people to Ghana to satisfy what the country needs? There are other people advertising their tourism industry using their national carrier. Wherever the national carrier goes, it carries an advert about the places available to be visited in that country. The airport is branded so that anybody who makes a stopover in that airport sees exactly what we have to offer. That people actually choose, instead of having a stopover at the airport, to come and tour. Our airport is naked, Nana. There is no information at our airport about what we have in Ghana. We are one of the few countries which can lay claim to the fact that we could be the center of the earth. We are one of the few closest to the equator. Who knows this? How many Ghanaians know this? And how many people are told when they arrive at our airports? This needs to change. Nana, how many people do know that the world's largest man-made lake is actually in Ghana? It is definitely not written in our airport. We don't have a national carrier which takes it anywhere, and we certainly do not pay for advert space in other airports to put this message up. This is what other countries are doing to attract foreigners. Where I live is a tourist attraction in itself, but there are countries like Kenya and Tanzania who are always advertising where I am. They are capitalizing on the fact that there is volumes coming to this place on tourism, that the people who come visiting this place understand the importance of tourism, and they have used a national strategy to advertise their agenda internationally. Nana, we need to learn. Nana, we need to train the people who are at our ministry, or we might need to recycle a few. We are not making the impact with an industry which is our salvation. Tourism is our salvation because the capital required to cause change is not high. I did a simple Google search because I love it. And the same UNWTO says tourism in many developing and least developed countries is the most viable and sustainable economic development option. Let me read it again. It says tourism is Ghana's most sustainable economic development option, the main source of foreign exchange earnings, the only hope of the cedi catching up with the dollar remains here in this industry, and at the moment it is totally untapped. Tourism has become a major player in the economy of developing countries because it does not require a lot of infrastructure. People who understand this simple thing, Nana, are making it count for them. It is not just in this website where you come across this. It is written in many other places. The main benefits of tourism are income creation, Nana, which is what the Ghanaian economy actually does need. Income creation and generation of jobs. For many regions and countries, it is the most important source of welfare, Nana. This is from ideasrepec.org. Different place, same idea. The ability of the national economy to benefit from tourism depends on the availability of investment, Nana, to develop the necessary infrastructure, which we have a lot of, and on its ability to supply the needs of tourists. That is one of the things we can't do in Ghana at the moment. Tourists come to Ghana and we cannot meet their basic needs. Our hotels are filthy. The buildings are wonderful, but they are ill-maintained. We need to teach people how to welcome other people and to meet the needs of people who come to visit. There are countries which have touristic potential for development of seaside tourism and alternative forms of tourism, and currently not utilizing them. And Nana, we are one of those countries. This is a paper somebody's written to help a country generate income. Potentially 80% of their national income to come from tourism. And this is a country which does not have a fraction of the natural resources we have in Ghana. Nana, I don't like to make these broadcasts too long because I want the message to be clear, concise, and precise. I shall continue. I will draw your attention to some more of our points, but Nana, let me finish this. We always say we want to develop. Nana, we need to see action. We need to see direct transformation in your Ministry of Tourism. Nana, we need to see direct transformation in the Ghana Tourism Authority, starting from a competent website which puts out information for other people like me and my tour company to share with the world, to bring the world to us. Nana, we are custodians of public funds. We are custodians of our children's future, and it would be irresponsible not to act when we know better. This is my contribution. This is all I can do this morning, is to try and reach you and share the message. If you come across this view, please share for me. I don't have Nana's telephone number. I need this to be propagated so that eventually somebody who knows Nana or can advise Nana or can share with Nana comes across the video and passes it on to. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. This can only happen, Nana, when we act. I want to be a citizen, not a spectator. That is what you charged me to be, and I'm trying my best to be. Nana, I need you also to be a citizen, not a spectator. We will speak again. Thank you very much.